Hello and welcome back for another processing tutorial. This is going to be a bit of an unusual target. It's the actually the 50th target that I'm going to be publishing on urbanastrophotography.com. So I want to do something a bit different, and it is a gravitationally lensed quasar called, let me check here, it's got a long name, APM 08279 plus 5255. Quite a mouthful. A gravitationally lensed quasar, and the light from it has been travelling toward us for more than 12 billion years. So, quite a target to image. Amazing that we can photograph this even from a light polluted city. So, this is a 5-hour integration. To get this object, you need to plate solve. If you go to urbanastrophotography.com, I'll give you the exact coordinates that you can plug into your ASI Air or any other kind of controller to be able to find it. So this is 5 hours. You can see we've got some serious gradients to deal with as well. But the first thing we want to do is actually make a clone, as usual. Put that over there. And we want to make sure that we have it in our field of view, because it's a tiny point source light. It's not like a giant nebula. So how do we know we've actually captured it? The way to do that is, first of all, go to Script, and we want to run Image Solver. If you're using an Astrocam, all this will be filled in already. We click OK, and then PixInsight will analyze the image and apply some coordinates so that it knows exactly what we're looking at. And then once it's done that, we want to go to Script, Render, and we go to Annotate Image. It's quite a powerful tool. We've got lots of options here for what we want to annotate with our image. What we want is the Million Quasar catalog. This isn't a default one in the default list, so if you don't see it in your list, you have to click Add Layer. You find it wherever it will be in here, then click OK, and it will appear. We want to tick that, and then we can click OK or Preview, and then we'll see a view with lots and lots of scary looking strings of letters and numbers. These are all the quasars that are within the field of view that we photographed here, but not necessarily all the ones that are visible. Now, you might be tempted to add in lots of those other checklists, not just the Million Quasar catalogue, but if you add in too many things, then there's just not enough space on the screen, so the thing that you're after might actually be lopped off. So I recommend just doing the Million Quasar. So how do we know which one this is? Well, you can see this view is really dark. That's because it kind of hasn't been properly processed or stretched yet. So what we can do, even if it appears completely dark, that's okay. We've got our actual image here. Let's make the two windows line up so they're the same size. And then we want to zoom in on the one that we want, which starts with APM. And we want to find the little crosshair arrows. Little crosshair, just like that. And then to make the two views completely match up, we're going to drag and drop the name from one over to the other. And there we go, the views will match. And then we can see we've got this little dot here right in the middle, so that's the one. We can also put the two images over each other and do Control and page up and page down, and it will flick between the two. We can see that we've definitely identified our quasar there. Now you may well want to, oh, and it's right in the middle of the frame because we plate solved it as well. You may want to do this whole step on a single subframe or a short stack, just to make sure that you have actually photographed the right area before you go and gather many hours on it. But yeah, this is how we know we've got what we're looking for, and we'll come back and we'll do the annotation bit at the end as well if we want, just to be sure. So this is 5 hours of data that I captured using an Optolong L-Quad Enhance. That is enough to get a decent, fairly clear view of the quasar, even from the centre of a Bortle 8 light pollution level city, because this object is actually relatively bright. So let's go ahead and process it up. It shouldn't take too long because it's just a simple broadband image. So the first thing we want to do is deal with these nasty gradients. So we're going to use SETI Astro's Automatic DBE, and I'm leaving everything here on the default. I'm just clicking Execute, and it should do it automatically for us. Okie dokie, we can close that. Let's do an unlinked stretch on this. Looking better, still not perfect, but a lot better. There are some horrendous gradients when I took this because there was a bright moon that was up, which kind of messed things up, but that's all right. I don't mind the moon, we'll deal with it. Next thing is to run Blur Exterminator. As a precursor step, I render PSF image, which will give the point spread function, which we can then feed into Blur Exterminator. Doing this precursor PSF step here is optional. There is an automatic option in Blur Exterminator, but I find that calculating the value manually like this gives me a better result. All right, we want between these two full width half maximum values. That's going to be about, what, 2.67 or so. Let's go with that, 2.67. Remember that number. We load up Blur Exterminator and PSF 2.67 and run that, and it will sharpen our view a little bit. Once that's complete, the next step is to do some color calibration using SPCC. A precursor step here to use a SETI Astro script, which is called find background. Just to run that on the defaults. That's going to find a blank piece of background, which actually, if we could do it manually on this image, sometimes with big nebula that fills the field, it's hard, but loads of background on here. Okay, it's found it there, saying this is some general background, and we're going to use that in our region of interest here. And this is broadband data, so we don't need to click narrowband or anything else. Should be nice and easy. And that looks a bit too blue to me. I think maybe we should undo that and choose some background more manually, maybe some more of the green bit over here. So let's find the preview button here, do a big preview there, and let's just try that step again and see if it comes out looking a bit more neutral. And I think that looks better off the bat. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right, next we want to stretch the data. So we're going to go to processes, and my current favorite method of stretching is multi-scale adaptive stretch, which is the native one in PixInsight. We can get a real-time preview if we click circle. It'll be probably completely white to start with because we've still got our temporary stretch. So if we just remove that stretch, we'll see here what it will look like after we've stretched. And we've background reference. This is something I've been skipping recently, but I've realized, oh, I should probably do this. Background reference, and it's just the same as what we did with SPCC. So we've still got the preview selected. And that should help the MAS function give us a slightly better stretch. Now we can play about with these if you like, but for now I'm just going to apply with the defaults here. And then we can close that, we can close that, we can close the preview, and this is what we've got so far. Let's delete that little background bit, and we're going to rename this APM stretched and make a clone of it, and then continue working on this one. Now there's a little bit of green left in, so I'm going to apply some SCNR. Now I know that this is quite a blunt tool, and there's a really good SETI Astro video about SCNR, and this has changed how I use it. But this is broadband data, and I have color calibrated it, and there isn't really any genuine green in the stars, so it's fine to just apply this to take out a little bit of the background gradient of the green that's left. Right, next thing to do then is to separate the stars from the background so that then we can deal with those separately. So I've made a clone. I'm going to remove the stars from this one using StarNet 2. And then to get a good quality star field, I don't use the star mask here, but instead go to utilities, and there's a free plugin called Screen Stars. So we are doing star removal. Our star review is APM stretched, and our star less view is APM stretched clone 1. Click on the tick, and then we should get very quickly a high quality star field. Right. So we can minimize that. We don't need this one anymore. So we have our stars and our starless views. So we could just keep this as it is, but I'm going to maybe give it a slight curves boost. Just to make it stand out a little bit more. And perhaps it would be wise, let me just make this window a little bit smaller, to zoom in onto our quasar so we can make sure that's looking good. We can do it before and after. Yeah, so we see we're boosting that a little bit, which I think is useful. A little bit further, shall we? Okay, I'm going to apply that. And then I think we should darken our background here. And that should look a lot better when we have our star field on top of it. It is a bit noisy, so perhaps a little bit of noise reduction as well. Why not? It's mostly background, so I suppose we can be fairly aggressive with it. There are a few little galaxies and things, but that's okay. They should survive the noise reduction all right. If not, we'll do it again on a lower setting. All right, let's take a look, make sure we didn't wipe out any detail in the galaxies. So if I just zoomed right in on this one, click back, before noise reduction, after, that's fine, that's all good. Okay, let's combine these images then, put them back into one. So we want screen stars again. And we're not doing star removal this time, we're doing star replacement. And the starless view is APM stretched clone 1. And the stars view is stars, so it's found all that automatically. Great. Click tick. And hey presto, we should have our picture. A nice dark background and our stars looking pretty good. And now there's a few more little bits and bobs you could do, like curves adjustments and things, and saturation and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I think we're pretty much done with it.